This is the podcast overview for Module 6, which is our last week of the class. Yay! You officially all made it to the last week. In this module, we're covering the last two chapters of the book. Chapter 11, which is Groups and Individuals, and Chapter 12, Adversity and Happiness. So here's your to-do list for this week. It is a shortened week. Normally you have all the way till Sunday, but the course ends on Friday. So the 24th is the last day of the class. So be advised that some of the due dates are a little different for this week. Here are the chapter objectives with the podcast overview of each chapter. Your articles that go along with the two chapters, Article 25 goes with Chapter 11, and Article 43 goes with Chapter 12. So Article 25 has to do with the Stanford Prison Study, and Article 43 has to do with happiness. Here are your lecture slides for the two chapters, and then I have a variety of short videos this week and one longer video. So this is a short video clip on groupthink, which you'll get introduced to in Chapter 11. And here it is in the movie 12 Angry Men, demonstration of that and how groupthink can happen amongst jurors as they're deliberating. Here's a video on social loafing, and then another one on the diffusion of responsibility, which is a concept we've talked about in the past, but it comes up again as we discuss groups. We had talked about it in Chapter 9 when we covered prosocial behavior. Diffusion of responsibility happens when we see the bystander effect, right, in emergency situations. But it also happens in group dynamics when you have a lot of people coming together trying to make a decision. And here is the longer video. This is the original Stanford Prison Study. It's narrated by Phil Zimbardo himself, who ran the study. And this was done by the BBC as a documentary. So I recommend reading the article that goes along with this first. So article number 25. Read that first because that's going to give you a good overview of what the Stanford Prison Study was, and then you can go ahead and take a look at it in action as it's explained through the video. Here is a video on Abu Ghraib, which is a military prison that hosts suspected and convicted terrorists, and it demonstrates for you the reality of the Stanford prison experiment. So it kind of mirrors in real life how the dynamics that happened in the Stanford prison study can happen in any kind of a prison setting or a setting where there is commanding officers and those of lesser rank taking orders. And then this is a not super long, I think it's about a half-hour video on happiness. So this is the only video that has to do with the very last chapter of the book. And it comes from ABC Dateline special about the secrets of happiness. And it is based on the research by both Dan Goldman and Sonia Lyubomirsky in the area of positive psychology. They both study happiness, what makes people happy. They've done research around the world, cross-culturally, and so it's really a great video to watch. Okay, once you've done all the readings and you've watched the videos, you're then ready for the discussion. So in Module 6, your discussion is based on the articles, the text chapters, and the videos. You're going to be answering first, could anyone, including you, be induced to act in the same way as the prisoners or the guards in the Stanford Prison Study if put into the same situation? Do personality and free will really have nothing to do with how someone will act in such situations? So you're going to talk that out and include a lot of different references to the readings. Is free will not really possible in such situations? And you want to support your answers there. And then number 2, what factors contribute to de-individuation, and how was this displayed in the Stanford Prison Study? So remember, you're using the video, you're also using the article and the textbook, all talk about the study. And each have kind of like different things to say, although they do say some of the same things. So, you want to use all of those sources and cite them and talk about the concepts that are covered that help explain what took place in the Stanford Prison Study. Why were the dynamics there so unique? Why did it become such a famous study in social psychology? And then lastly, particularly in accordance with Article 43, that article reading reports that most Americans would prefer to have more income over more leisure time. Based on your own observations of family and friends, do you agree with that proposition? Be specific in explaining why this may or may not be the case, and use support here again too. How does the article relate to the video in Module 5? Remember that video last week, America the Rude? Talked a little bit about this too. Taken together, what are your thoughts on that? So you want to refer back to that. If you need to jog your memory, you can skip back to last week and take a look at that. All right, and then you have your last exam, which covers the last 2 chapters of the test, of the class, chapters 11 and 12, same format, 30 questions, multiple choice, 1 point each. And the due date for that, this is actually wrong. It's supposed to be 6/24, so Friday by 11:59. That's when the class ends. That's when you'll have to finish the exam. So as you're working through the material this week, if you have any questions, please feel free to chat with me. I've really enjoyed this class. I've gotten to know a couple of you. I've had different questions over the last 6 weeks, and it's just been great being able to interact with you all. You've been a really great class, great discussion. You've all been so respectful of one another in your postings and very thorough in your responses to other people in those discussion postings. So thank you for that, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your summer.